This video contains audio description. Audio description is a form of narration used to provide information surrounding key visual elements in media work for the benefit of consumers who are blind and visually impaired. Joe Strechay talks at a podium. A logo comes on the screen, Shine On WV. Joe sitting at a cafe.
I'm Joe Strechay. I'm a producer and a consultant around television, film, and blindness. I'm from Oak Hill, West Virginia. I'm actually blind too.
Pictures of a younger Joe and his brothers.
I grew up in New Jersey. I was obsessed with television and film. I lost most of my vision in my first semester in college. I didn't deal with it well. I started kind of like self-medicating. I didn't know what I could do, and I was scared. So I sought out counseling and changed my perspective on life, thinking about it, that blindness and losing my vision wasn't gonna change who I am. It changes how I do things. Ended up going back to school at Florida State University, where I studied around blindness. I came around my expertise around blindness, and while I was there, I got to explore my love of film and television.
Talking at a podium.
I started off as a consultant early on, and it just grew from there, and I became an associate producer. I started, creating accessibility, and I originally found like the world of media not so receptive to me as a person who was legally blind or low vision at the time, and navigating that world. I started applying how disability was portrayed, how blindness is portrayed, and looking at it and dissecting it in film and television. And later on, writing blog posts about it as a hobby in the middle of the night. Eventually, production started reaching out to me. I kind of got contacted by a writer's room for a show called Royal Pains on the USA Network.
Short clips of Royal Pains.
So I worked on this writer's room for Royal Pains virtually, and I'm like, oh, this is a neat little hobby. I really like it. I worked on 3 episodes for them, and I think season 5 related to a character who was blind. So they built my slang and lingo and stuff into the scripts.
Marvel's Daredevil across screen.
After that, we got contacted about another television show in development, and it turned out to be Marvel's Daredevil on Netflix. And so I worked on season 1 on the scripts and the props, the set deck, and working with the lead actor who's a sighted person, and working with the producers and the director and all of that. And I was working basically 2 full-time jobs. I didn't think it was going to be a career.
Clips of Netflix, All the Light We Cannot See, and Apple Plus's See.
I can't do my work without audio description. Audio description is when someone describes what is happening. So when I watch television and film, like Netflix or Apple TV Plus, all of their produced content is audio described, provides me what is going on. So when I work on set, I hire a person as an assistant, and now typically they're choreographers who look at the most minuscule detail, and but they describe, and I train them on what I want to know and what I don't want to know.
Clips of Apple Plus's See, All the Light We Cannot See, and Netflix's Daredevil.
I definitely visualize things when we're filming or stories, and I practice it, and I read a lot of scripts, and I figure out what I would want to do with that story, and I get to help decide that and work with directors in blocking scenes, so creating where their first mark is and their last mark, and negotiating with actors. So learning how that works. And now these directors who I've worked with over the years are my friends and mentors and want me to direct. And I want to direct my own projects as well. And as a person who's totally blind, there are a handful of directors who are legally blind, like low vision, but none that are totally blind. And I want to be that first, bringing that perspective. And we were often portrayed as needing help, as like a person in a hospital bed or on the side of the street asking for money.
A clip of Mr. Magoo accidentally driving through a barn. A scene from Family Guy where Peter is wearing dark glasses, trips and falls in his own living room. And a clip from a video game called Red Dead Redemption 2 where the poor begging character is blind.
And to get to impact the world and change that perspective is my goal.
Auditorium of people listening to Joe up at the podium.
My advice to someone who wants to work in arts or entertainment is to take chances. Put yourself out there, but also create your own content, whether it's writing or filming, editing, whatever it is, and find people that want to support that. And I want to make sure that people know there's an opportunity in all kinds of careers and jobs in film. And I think everyone in West Virginia has a different voice than, say, a state next to it, or growing up in a situation. And I think young people need to share that voice, but also find out about all these careers and jobs that are included in film. I love West Virginia because it's a beautiful state, like amazing outdoors, hiking, and some of the nicest people in the world. My wife and I are so excited to move back to West Virginia and live in Fayette County, and I think working remote has opened up opportunities. I'll go wherever the work is, but my home will be in West Virginia.
Logo back on screen, produced and directed by Jillian, Carney, Howell, shot and edited by Tatyana, Reynolds. Audio description by Kara Lee Hrdlichka.